Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Real Table Talk. And thank you so much for joining us today on International Women's Day. Woo! How exciting is this? Before we start today, I just want to send out a special, well, two special messages. First special message is to my brother. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Dwight. And the second message is to a young man called Philip. So I haven't spoken to anybody face to face for, God, quite a while actually. It's got to be well over a month. And I gave this to God and I said, I'm just depressed, I can't cope, my mental health, I need somebody to talk to. And I went for a walk today and I met up, or I saw this young man who used to live in these blocks, the block where I'm living. And I looked at him and I was like, I know you. And he said, I know you. And his name is Philip. So I know you're going to be watching, Philip. So thank you so much today. I really appreciated you taking the time to stand there and we had a conversation, 10, 15 minutes? Brilliant, because just what I needed. You have really uplifted my spirits today because mental health is just a nightmare. I mean, we're living in difficult circumstances at the moment when we're not talking to people face to face. We're doing everything via our computers. So I just want to say thank you so much today for having that conversation with me. So yeah, thanks. And thank you everybody for joining us today on this platform. Let's start the conversation with a real table talk. And we have got three absolutely amazing guests. Oh my goodness. So it's all about health. It's all about fitness. It's all about keeping safe and looking after yourselves. So relaxed, stay tuned, get yourself a drink, just sit back and let's have a conversation today. So this platform doesn't run by itself. It runs with Real Table Talk. And so part of Real Table Talk is Marcia Hilton and Karen Cruz. So please, ladies, introduce yourselves to our beautiful audience today. Karen.
Well, Marcia should go because she's the oldest.
Marcia.
Catch up with you later, Karen. I am actually the oldest.
Oh, go on. All right, I'll go first.
I'm going to go. I'm the eldest.
All right.
Come on now, don't cut her off.
Okay then, so for those that don't know, my name is Marcia Hilton and I am a transformational coach for women, and I am the CEO and founder of Life Inspired Wellness, and I support women break free from toxic relationships, and I help them to create new relationships with themselves and with others. So that's me.
Cool.
Nice, thank you, Marcia. And Karen?
Fabulous theme for International Women's Day. I'm Karen Cruz. I am a life coach and I am the founder and director of Flourished Minds Limited, which is a life coaching company working especially with children and young people. And we know what's going to come now, don't we? To help our young people to flourish.
Thank you so much, ladies. Oh, it's so nice to be back. What have you been up to through the week? How's your week been?
I'll let Marcy go because she's the eldest.
Actually, it's been busy one for me. It's been really busy with work and everything. So it's been quite an intense week actually. So yeah, nothing really other than work. I haven't really been exciting. Oh, I've got the grandkids, yeah. So I'm trying to I've locked them all up in the attic.
That's sounds quite
No,
cool.
I'm only joking.
That does sound
I'm
good.
only joking. So somebody might pop it. Well, I've asked them not to, but one of them might just pop up and
Say hi.
yeah, and just bomb the it's live today. But he'll be cool. Yeah. So I've enjoyed them. Oh yeah, I went for dinner. My eldest grandson cooked dinner for his nanas.
Grandson.
Yeah, my eldest one.
Nice.
Yeah, he cooked dinner. So we all got dressed up, me and his other nana, and we went up and had dinner and
Nice.
wine. So that was really nice. Yeah.
Very nice.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's nice to have these face-to-face conversations with other people. When you're living by yourself, you're talking to me, myself, and I.
Oh.
How's your week been?
I know.
Sorry, Marcia.
My week's been really busy. We've won a brand new school that's not even opened yet. It's not even built yet fully. They've asked us to go into the school to deliver a well-being and coaching program for the students. So we're like, I was running around the house going, oh my god! and because International Women's Day is coming up, I've been invited to a couple of events talking to parents about helping the children to get ready to get back to school. So that's been quite interesting. And actually tomorrow morning I'm doing a Zoom into a school where the children of a primary school are just going to be asking me questions about what I do, how I've got my job.
Oh, lovely.
What challenges I've got. So looking forward to that. So I'm just going to be throwing questions out by 8, 9 and 10-year-olds.
Excellent. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, because tomorrow that's when they all go back. So I had a conversation with little man, my grandson, and yeah, he's back at school tomorrow. He's really looking forward to it. He's so excited. So that's really, really good. And I suppose it's good for them to get back interacting with their friends in school and getting back to some sort of normality. So excellent. So my week has been crazy. So studying journalism at university, online, doing these assignments, it's like, when are you over? Please? Really? Yeah, but I'm nearly there. So it's like, woo! Cannot wait. Cannot wait. I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, enough about me. It's International Women's Day. It's International Women's Day, and we have got 3 amazing guests.
Yeah.
Platform today, not one, not two, but 3 amazing guests on this platform to share their stories, their experiences with us today. So women, thank you, or ladies, thank you so much for, first of all, coming on the platform and sharing your stories with us. It is so appreciated. It really is. So I'm going to let you introduce yourselves. So first of all, we will go over to Katia. Katia, welcome and thank you. Please introduce yourself to the audience.
Hi, Leslie. Hi, Marcia, and hi, Karen. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm really excited. It's an amazing day to come as well, International Women's Day, so I get to talk a bit of my impact for helping other women, so it's fantastic. My name is Katia Pontes-Kicks. I am a certified life coach and I specialize in business coaching, mainly helping mums in business navigate through social media and use it to get customers and not to be lost in the world of social media, because we can easily spend 1 hour instead of 5 minutes and still feel like we haven't got anywhere. I have a background in health. I'm a staff nurse and I still work as a staff nurse. And though I'm passionate about it, business hasn't been far behind. I studied business to degree level before I studied nursing. So yes, that is me and I'm here. I'm really happy.
Oh, thank you so much.
Good.
Yeah, thank you so much, Katia.
Thank you.
And Angie, please introduce yourself.
Hello, and thank you very much to you ladies for having me on today. So it's an absolute pleasure.
Thank
So my name is Angie. I'm the founder and CEO of ThermoView Medical Thermal Imaging. And we help ladies and gents do breast imaging in particular, using infrared high-tech cameras for the early detection of breast cancer. So it's completely safe, there's no contact, and it's radiation free. And it does help spot the earlier signs or markers for breast cancer, which affords time to make lifestyle changes, obviously as a prevention model.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Looking forward to talking to you, Angie. Thank you so much. And Nana, please introduce yourself.
Hello there. Hello, lovely ladies. Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity and privilege. I really feel very excited, although a little bit nervous, but anyway. And thank you everyone for joining us. Yeah, so my name is Nana Benson Kwam. My background is nursing. I've been a nurse for well over 20-something years. And I work particularly with patients with blood cancer. So I work in hematology. So I'm a clinical nurse specialist in hematology. It's a great job, very demanding. It takes a lot out of you. But alongside that, I have some few passions, and some of the things that I'm super passionate about is I run a health and wellness business alongside. I am into health. I'm your fitness and health enthusiast. I'll go off tangent, but I will try and calm myself down. I like my fitness. I'm into my running, and it's a great and wonderful opportunity to actually be able to have a side business which actually matches my passion, and to work alongside that with amazing products, and also to actually help people kind of, support them with their health and wellness as well. So that's me. Yeah.
Excellent. Wow. Thank you so much. You're excited, Karen. I'm excited. 3 amazing women. So much, ladies, for coming on the platform. So can I just say, Karen is going to be interacting with our audience. So if our audience has got any questions, then Karen is going to be reading those questions and giving it to us as we go along. Mm-hmm. Is that okay? So yeah, so we've got a nice interaction with our audience. So where do we go first? Woo! Right, so yes, let me just say this. International Women's Day, the challenge is choose to challenge. So we need to be taking, first of all, a picture. So first of all, I want you all to raise your hands. And you, audience, raise your hands. Raise your hands, let's take a picture. Let's take a picture. Look into the camera. Please don't close your eyes. Look into the camera, and we are taking a picture. 1, 2, 3, go. Yay! Thank you so much. Should I have taken another one for good luck? We'll take one afterwards. So, Katia, come straight over to you.
So,
working full time and looking after the family and doing your other businesses, how do you manage to do all of that together?
So I'm currently not working full time because of my health problems. So for those of you who do not know me, my life was going as it normally goes, and we go to work and we enjoy what we do. We have our family. I had a daughter and fell pregnant of my second one, which was again like a miracle, because I was told many years ago that I would never have children without assistance or intervention, medical assistance or intervention. So the first one we think, oh, thank God, it was a lovely miracle. The second one you definitely don't expect. But with the pregnancy of the second one, 5 years after, we never really tried per se, but we didn't prevent it. We just didn't have to. 5 years on, I became really sick when we were abroad in Portugal, which is where I'm from originally. I was spending some time with family, became septic, went into the hospital. I had moments where I was saying goodbye to my unborn child because I felt that impending sense of doom that everyone talks about, that, that's it, I'm not going to make it. I was really fortunate because if it had been in the UK, they would have done certain things as soon as they think it's sepsis, and that wasn't done until day 3 of my admission in Portugal. But I'm here, so that's the main thing. But during the time that I was there, they found a suspicious mass in my kidney, which they said, oh, you know, it's a suspicious mass. And I thought, it's going to be a kidney stone or a cyst. And they said, make sure that when you go back to England, that you get it investigated. You know, after you brush you have a brush encounter with death, you just think, you know, that's all behind me. I can just focus on getting on with life. And on the 18th of December 2018, I went to the doctors, to a specialist, after a bit of to and fro within the NHS, because I was supposed to be seen back in September. And I was told that it was cancer. So my world collapsed. I was heavily pregnant. I was thinking, you know, my husband was beside me. We didn't know what to make of it, thinking of our child that we left with a friend so that I could go to another health appointment with the pregnancy and everything else. So it was not easy. But when you go through such a crazy time, you question everything. I was happy with my family life, but I wasn't completely fulfilled in my professional life. I didn't feel like all that I have to give was being used and was engaged in what I was doing. And I also had said to myself in the past to leave business behind, because I studied business before, to leave business behind because it was cold and it served no human value purpose. I felt it was cold, and I was also disillusioned because my dream while I was studying was to work at the Twin Towers, and halfway through my course they fell down, and so did my dream. Obviously, I'm not making light of the lives lost. A dream is just a dream, and you can either get a new one or just, you know, go through life without it. But for me, I lost my motivation back then. And I just told myself a few things. I told myself some, you know, business is cold and it's just for money. And I wanted to go and do something that had human value in it. And nursing was never far, because that was how I paid for my studies. I was an auxiliary nurse or a nursing assistant. So I thought, you know, that's it. Even if a patient doesn't say thank you, you can see the value of what you're doing. And I love it, you know, when you have that contact. But obviously with the health side of things, I haven't been able to go to the bedside of the patient and do the clinical things that I miss. And I also started questioning all the beliefs that I created for myself around business. And I thought, you know what, there has to be a way to have a business, create a business, and use it to empower others, to impact on other people's lives, and also be profitable while doing that. So whoever told me that wasn't possible, and that's my mission. I started then assisting mumpreneurs, as I call them, mums in business, to juggle everything and try to make sense of you know, life as a mum and as a business owner, because we don't have much time. So I've recently decided to focus on the visibility aspect. So I'm a visibility coach, to make sure that the limited time that us mums are putting into business is used to increase and grow our business, and not just wasted in the social media world. So
Yeah.
yes.
Wow, excellent. I've got a few things what I want to ask you, but I'm going to go, or I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to go over to Angie, and one of the questions what I had was, you know, how do you actually check yourself? What is it you actually do? So just tell me a little bit more about, you know, what you do.
Yeah, thank you. So if I tell you how I got started, it will probably help explain and tie all the ends together.
Thank you.
So about 12, 13 years ago, my dad was diagnosed with breast cancer. So breast cancer in men in itself is really, let's say, unusual. It's sadly more common these days than what it was 12 years ago. But breast cancer is very common in women. In fact, 1 in 7 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. any case, so Dad was diagnosed and he didn't want to talk about it. He had to go for surgery and he just got on with the business of getting well, and we just respected his wishes and, you know, helped him in his recovery. But 4 years ago, my mom was then diagnosed with breast cancer. And so she had some health issues going on, and only 2 years prior to this, so she was 80 at the time. So she was outside of the routine mammogram screenings. So where they thought maybe, you know, some health issues were going on, they were rightly trying to rule out breast cancer. So she'd gone at the age of 78 for a routine mammogram, which had given her the all clear. But 2 years subsequent to that, she then found lumps in her breast, which the testing proved that yes, they were cancerous, and she also had to go for surgery. So having both a mother and a father with breast cancer obviously puts me in quite a high risk category. But it started us thinking, well, how come is it when breast cancer is diagnosed, is it already very serious? And sadly, in some cases, is it, you know, it's diagnosed just in time. Sadly, sometimes it's just too late. So why isn't there an early warning system? So I started researching lots because I wanted to know how I could better have supported both my mom and my dad. And clearly with myself being in higher risk, how do I sort of reduce my risk? And then I discovered thermography. And even worse than that, it's a great technology, but it was approved in America by the FDA for the use in the detection of the early markers of breast cancer in 1982. 1982. How many women could this, and men, could this have helped if the technology was available, but it wasn't? And that started me on my journey. So I went and I got qualified, certified. I'm a certified thermographic technician and provide the service. So founded Thermoview, and we use high-tech infrared cameras which detects the heat being radiated through the surface of the skin. And the nature of how tumors grow within the breast, it actually alters the functionality of the breast tissues. So ordinarily, breast tissue, if you're not breastfeeding, the tissues are really quiet and it will show dormant, it will show a different pattern on the thermogram. As tumors, as cancer grows, it actually draws food for itself in order to grow from the tissues. And as it grows more, it actually opens existing blood vessels and creates heat from the extra blood flow. And as it grows further, it's a process called angiogenesis. It actually creates new blood cells that we're not born with in order to create more blood flow. And so using this technology, it actually picks up this extra heat pattern, and it can alert us then to, you know, as you're in a higher risk, and depending on at what point somebody will come and get imaged, because obviously there has to be a first one, and your first imaging set of images are your foundation, and your images that are taken subsequent to that are always referred back to your first one. So you can see if there's any changes within the breast, and it's extremely sensitive. So our risk increases with age. It's mostly because of estrogen. Estrogen gets stored very readily in the breast tissues, and as it's processed by the body, it releases carcinogenic properties, and that's what causes the breast cancer, or gives breast cancer, or give the cancer in the breast a bigger opportunity to grow.
Oh wow. It's just
so yeah, it's a bit of a bombshell. The idea is that we can be proactive. So with the right information, and granted, nobody wants to know, you know, we're digging where nobody wants to have, you know, a high risk assessment. But if you know what it is, then you can work with your doctor to reduce your risk. So just simple things with the diet, and I say simple because every woman is different, but in your diet, like soy and flax are phytoestrogens, so they can actually increase your risk. And them in the diet, the thermography, the thermal images will actually show a particular pattern if there is this high level of estrogen in the breast. So, you know, the information it provides is completely different to structural imaging. It doesn't rule out the need for structural imaging because lots of tests work up to get to the diagnosis, and the only absolute diagnosis for breast cancer is through fine needle aspirations through a biopsy.
Yeah.
The idea is to, obviously, in the early time, is to get the earliest warning possible.
So how do you check yourself then? How does a woman do
But
that?
yeah, so there's a few things obviously that we should all be doing, men and women. We should be monitoring ourselves, doing a monthly breast exam, and we're not generally taught that how to do it, and obviously this is not the forum, but if you can go online, there is it's called a boobot from Copperfield. So it's a charity that was set up to educate young boys and girls how to work through breast checking. So that's a very good resource for anybody who's not doing it. But yes, it's to be mindful of any changes within the breast, if there's swelling, one or both, if there's changes in the skin, so if it becomes like an orange peel and it starts to pucker, the nipple, if there's changes in if the nipple pulls inwards, or if there's blood or like a milky residue from the nipple, or any pain, and if the pain is in the breast or through into the armpit or up into the collarbone, yeah, obviously go and have it checked out, because early detection is key here.
Yeah.
Early detection, early diagnosis actually really does save lives.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I just quickly ask you, Angie? So if a woman goes for a mammogram and it's clear, there may already be some changes already that the mammogram hasn't picked up already, and this is where your thermoview would come in. Is that?
Yes. So we're recommending that as many tests as possible will obviously provide better risk analysis. So
Right.
mammogram is a structural imaging, and so I just have to revert back to the case of my mom. When she was imaged at 78, and of course by that time she was already outside of the between 50 and 70 for her routine mammogram, she was given the all clear, but 2 years later she actually felt lumps in her breast. So it wasn't that the cancer wasn't there, it's just that the tumors weren't big enough to be seen by the mammogram. So it's the more modalities that you can incorporate into your healthcare practice, the better. So you actually make sure things don't fall through the cracks.
Okay, that's quite scary. I'm actually myself high risk, but it's paternal. But I understand that puts us at higher risk. Is that right?
So there's a few things there. So when I talk about this, people say, well, there's no family history of cancer, and I go, well, actually 85% of breast cancer cases are where there's no family history.
Right.
And if you have paternal history, like myself, then they actually say you're at higher risk. And yeah, if with the BRCA gene, which we know is hereditary, there are tests that they can do for that. I'm waiting for mine, but they generally say if it is that gene, then it normally presents in much younger years.
Wow.
So I'm actually being quiet for once in my life. This is so Angie and Nana and Katia. This is not me normally. I'm normally like, but so I've just had my results from a mammogram, and it's that thing what you said, Angie, about whether you delve or not delve. So I've got your results are clear. I'm like, phew, I'm all good. And then now there's that question, am I all good? And I think it's that scary thing but then.
I understand, and it's not to scare anybody, it's rather
it's information.
To empower. It's to empower men and women. Okay, granted, for men it's not as common. It's only 1 in 1,000 men are predicted to get breast cancer in their lifetime. So for men, but they probably wouldn't want to worry about going for breast screening. But for women, breast cancer is the leading cause of death in women. So yes, the more we can do, absolutely, to protect our health. So it's not to scare, and it's not about fear mongering. It's just to say, okay, well, wrap as many modalities. So even if you are going for your routine mammogram, absolutely, and this is not saying to negate it and replace it. This is saying add it into, because women under 50 aren't getting called for mammograms, but yet there's the highest death rate of women through breast cancer is in the under 50 category. And for them, there's no routine breast screening. But it means they can now do something on top of doing their regular monthly checks, physical checks.
Wow, that is so interesting, Angie, you know, and lots of information there to like, you know, what we're taking in at the moment. It's just like, it's just mind blowing. I'm just sat here thinking I need to go and get, yeah, anyway. Oh, so Nana, let's move on to you. So Nana, right, my question to you is, I know that you're married and you've been married for over 25 years, which is, yeah, congratulations. And you've got 3 beautiful daughters. How do you keep fit? Because you're working full time, you've got your household, and then you've got a part-time business, what you're running as well. How do you keep fit and motivated?
Right. So, gosh, where do I start from? I have to say that I think you've got my counterparts have been amazing, and I'm sitting here in awe. Both Katia and Angie, I'm like, wow. And I have to say, Angie said quite a few things that really resonated with me. But yes, so you know, I've said already, my background is nursing. I've been nursing for well over 20 years, and whilst I absolutely love and enjoy it, it is a tough job. And if I'm honest, I'm probably a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? A bit you know, tired. You know, obviously I'm not going to give up nursing just yet, but you know, I am tired of it. And I think there's a couple of things that Katia said. You know, you give, and it's a giving job, and you find that, and I suspect as ladies amongst us that we're always, some of us, the majority of us are in a position where you're always giving. And you give in your job, and you give at home, and you give and you give and you give, and then sometimes you kind of lose yourself in all that giving. And yes, it's not easy. I work full time. It's a really, you know, tough job. It's very emotionally and physically demanding. But I think along the way, you know, I felt that something was missing. And if I'm honest, I felt that for a good few years. And I just didn't, it was like, this is it, you know, there must be something more to it. And don't get me wrong, I am very hardworking, and I'll give 150% to whatever it is I do. But I didn't have that fulfillment. It was lacking. And obviously, as I went through, and I also had that challenge a few years back where unfortunately I lost my mum. And I think it was where things really, I kind of switched around for me. Prior to that, obviously, I've got 3 girls, as you mentioned, wonderful girls, supporting them, looking after them. They're sort of getting a little older now. Yes, 25 years this year, believe it or not, I've been married. I can't quite believe it myself, but here we are. Anyway,
Yeah.
But I think that as the 2 older girls were approaching university, kind of finishing their A-levels, I had that realization. You know, I've been doing this, my day job for God knows how many years. It's sort of just about pays the bills. And I've got to the stage where, you know, I'm tired. The motivation is not what it used to be. The red tape gets more and more, there's kind of a bit more senior you get. And it gets to a stage where I came into this to help people. And that there's always layers in which that help is sort of stranded, if I could say that. And I just didn't have that satisfaction and that, you know, that challenge, you know. I lost my mojo a little bit, if I'm honest. And secondly, I was thinking, well, these girls are going to go through university. Now, how is this same day job with the same pay, which was just about pay the bills, am I going to be able to use that to support them through their university years? And I started thinking outside the box, and I thought, well, yes, I've got my skills and I can do extra bank work and get the extra money. I've done bank work for the most of my career. And, you know, there must be something else that I can do and I can give in other ways. I came across this amazing opportunity a couple of years back. And it's interesting, although the original and the initial thought process behind looking at the opportunity was probably more financially driven, as I've gone into it, it's actually my reasons for looking at it, I've come to realize it's not so much about the finances. Of course, that's good, but it's more about empowering and more about helping and more about looking at health and wellness and how we as individuals look after our health. because I work with ill health 24/7. And therefore, it made me, reflect to say, yes, we're not going to be able to prevent everything, but what can we do within ourselves to help us put us in a better state, so that we're looking after, we want to have wellness as opposed to illness. And that is where I really got excited about my opportunity and thinking, oh, I'm so grateful to have this, and how I can use this to empower and to inspire and to encourage people to really address their health and wellness. And that is my mission, and that is what I'm on. And how I do it, it's not easy. There's no doubt about that, but I'm focused. I am super passionate, and I have a goal, and I'm very focused, and I'm determined. So I work in the nooks and crannies of my day. So I come back from work, never leave work on time. I get home, and then obviously once family is settled, I get my 1 hour, 1.5 hours, and I just go for it and do what I can in that time frame. But the joy that I get from that actually is more than doing my 9 to 5, where I'm, or 9 to whatever. It's never 9 to 5, 9 to whatever. So it's all about discipline and focus, and looking at that ultimate goal that you have actually set yourself out to achieve, and really working hard towards it. It's never going to be easy, but that's what keeps me going. Yeah.
Now you've built us up, you've brought us all the way up here, and you've left us there. Please tell us what it is. What's your business? What do you do?
It's health and wellness. So I am. Oh, you make me laugh. So I'm an independent business owner, but I partner with a global company, in the massive global health and wellness company. They've been going for 43 years now this year, and it's all about natural-based products. So we have a whole range of products in terms of helping people support their health, but also alongside that, actually, if you then want to run, looking to running a business yourself, then really supporting and helping you also start a business and grow your team and help and nurture you and grow your business. Yeah. So it's promoting the products, and obviously, sharing the opportunity with other people as well. Yeah.
It sounds fantastic. And I know, because I've seen some of your posts, that you're doing a lot of running. So talk us through, are you training people or?
Right. So in my wisdom or not, with all of these challenges going on, what was the thing you made us say? What was the theme? Challenge.
Challenge.
What's that? Say that again.
Choose to challenge.
There we go. So challenge is my thing. And the reason why I love challenges is that I think it really makes you question a lot of things as an individual. It helps you grow. Obviously, it helps you learn new skills. So challenge is something that I always get myself into, challenges. So of course, in my wisdom, decided that, and I've done a few challenges back. So back in May last year, one of the things that I really wanted to do was to kind of have this. I felt that although I'm fairly fit and well, I'd say, I felt that I didn't have that regular activity, raising my heart rate on a daily basis or like a few times a week going. And I kept saying this to myself year on year, oh, next year I'm going to get fitter, and which I'm sure most of us do. I'm going to get fitter and this and that. And then of course the year will come and go. Anyway, so last May, I decided either you do something about it or nothing is going to change. So I embarked on a journey, and it was my fitness or lifestyle change journey. And I did that. Fortunately for me, I have these great products, and we have weight management products as well. So I started off with a 9-day cleanse in May, and it has really, really transformed my life and my lifestyle. So I did the cleanse, which I loved, lost some inches here and there, got more energy, skin looked better, all of those sorts of things. But I continued and I progressed on, and I started keeping fitter and fitter. I started walking, started slowly running, and now I'm running almost every day. Oh, wow. And as a result of this, and actually getting the stamina, I then in October, when it was Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Angie will tell us a bit more when we go back to her. I have a dear friend who sadly lost another friend who actually left. She was in her 40s when she died, left 3 or 4 children behind to breast cancer. So she was doing raising some money for charity. So I decided that I was going to do a challenge where I'm going to run 7 kilometers a day for 7 days to raise money in support of her. And needless to say, I actually did more than I expected, which was incredible and amazing, and really was used that as a way to really inspire and encourage people, and also get them to see whatever it is you set your mind to, you're able to do that if you have that goal and you're really that passionate about it. So that was incredible. Move on past that challenge. I said challenge myself again this year. So at the beginning of January, I said I was going to have a body transformation challenge, Leslie. That's why I'm running around all the place every morning. And my body transformation challenge was to shape up and tone up and all of this business and get my six pack and all of this. I mean, that was a bit of a joke, but it was to really kind of move up the next level. And really the whole ethos behind this is really to inspire and to encourage people. And actually it's incredible the amount of people, particularly through this lockdown, seeing me online, greeting them and saluting them, doing my little run. It has really given people hope, which it really warms my heart, because although yes, I'm doing my challenge and but actually that has inspired and really helped so many people who are locked down at home, are not able to get out and about, just to make them feel that things are still kind of going on. So yes, so that's my latest challenge, which I'm still doing. I will finish it and I'll come and show you the results at some point if I feel bold enough.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think you've picked these women especially for me, Leslie. I'm sure of it. Marcy would tell you social media, I can get lost in social media.
Yeah.
I can be doing something and I think, oh, let me just check my Facebook, and before you know it, an hour's gone. I'm like, oh man, I'm running out of time. I haven't got time. Angie, like I said, I've just had a mammogram, been through that process, and I just need to, I'm just thinking about making sure that we're well. And I'll just read a comment from Maggie in a minute, one of our audience that's listening. And Nana, again, Marcy, Leslie will tell you, I'm really into keeping fit. I mean, I've kind of lost it a bit through lockdown. And we used to do a little bit of network marketing, so I'm not sure what your company is yet, and I don't know if you're going to say or if you're keeping it a secret.
Oh.
I know she still hasn't told us.
I can say, it's not a secret. I'm very proud to be a business owner and align myself with Forever Living. Yes,
okay.
Okay.
Excellent, thank you.
Awesome. So yeah, I like all three of you. Forget Marcy and Leslie. Let me just talk to you. So Maggie said she's really glad that we're talking about this. She's referring to cancer, breast cancer. She said since COVID, cancer seems to have taken a backseat, but the problem's still here, and it really is.
Absolutely, I think as well. There'll be all kinds of different cancers, because they've put the when people normally they have like a cut-off period a lot of times. I think so if somebody has a diagnosis with cancer or they suspect it's cancer, I think there's a 2-week window where people need to go to
see a specialist.
and see the specialist, and all that it's kind of gone a bit skewy. So I suspect as well, and I think Angie probably would agree,
and I think during the first lockdown was worse, because the whole fear of needing the beds and intensive care and everything else had taken over even operating theaters.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that had to have their tumors removed at a certain time to give them a better chance of a prognosis couldn't do so. And I remember reading on the thread of a group where I am in because of my situation, and the despair of some people coming through to say, I'm a bit more advanced of a stage, and I was told that I can't have my operation now because of COVID. So the desperation was horrendous. That happened in cancer, that happened in heart surgery as well.
Yeah.
So heart surgery, only emergency cases were going through. So this time around, I think I've seen this with heart surgery, but I think it's echoed across the board that they're trying to keep certain services going, come what may, and only cancel what is absolutely necessary, and try to keep the operations and things going whenever possible. So that's my take on this, but I would love to see what Angie and Nana have to say on this, in case I stand corrected on something.
Yeah,
I think you're absolutely right. So yeah, they're doing everything they certainly can, but by choice, some may have opted not to go for their regular screening. And what we're saying is, so with what we do with the thermal imaging, it's adjunctive. So it's to add on to what you're doing, because it gives different information that puts you more in control. If you can find something early where you can actually work with your doctor to prevent it. And of course, when someone comes the first time, they don't know where they're going to be, but it still puts you in a better position where you can manage it. And I understand that nobody wants to have, you know, a high risk assessment, but if you know what it is, then you can deal with it. And maybe it's also peace of mind, because people will worry and say, well, I'm a high category, so I don't want to know about it. And I go, well, when you do know, then you can do something about it. And it could well be that it's just the peace of mind. So we recommend that, and as I said before, there's no screening for women under 50. And if you have breast implants, or if you've had surgery, or if you wear a pacemaker, then mammogram, you know, is not suitable. And for women younger than 50, where the breast tissue is more dense, a mammogram is not suitable anyway. But this is something that everybody can do quite safely, and to add it on. And obviously if something is found, because it's graded, and if there isn't a level of alert, you can follow it through, and you can be more proactive and not wait until it's just in time or sadly too late. So yeah, that's the idea behind it. But they do say that there's a lot of women that haven't gone, obviously understandable for the reasons, not gone for their breast imaging.
Wow.
How long has this been available in the UK, Angie?
Sorry, say again.
How long has this been available in the UK?
Not very long. It's still not mainstream, so it is a private service. So I launched in 2019.
Okay.
But yeah, the fact that it was approved in 1982, for me, that's just, you know, like how many years have lapsed, and it's not available. So and women generally, and men, because it detects, we use the same technology to screen the whole body for inflammation and it helps in the diagnosis of other conditions. But people wouldn't necessarily know to go and look for it even, because it's just, you know, it's not generally spoken about. So it is really about getting the message out there.
And sorry, very quickly, Angie. So obviously, I did wonder that earlier on. I was wondering, how can you access this service? And you've just answered that. So if a patient wanted to access this, for instance, would they have to go via the GP? Would the GP have the knowledge of referring them to yourselves or wherever?
Yeah, they don't need to have. Thank you for the question. It's a great one. Thanks, Nana. They don't need to have a referral from their GP. They can just come direct. So okay. Currently, I'm imaging. I'm based in the south of England, but I know there are corporate companies that do like corporate responsibility and do different programs. So yeah, I'm happy to work with corporates and to arrange something. Obviously, we're not all working from office locations at the moment, but when that comes back up and running, yeah, certainly happy to do something like that.
No, fantastic.
It's really interesting. It's really interesting. I don't want to kind of digress, but I just wanted to sort of pop over to, because I'm conscious of time as well, but Katia, there's something that I wanted to ask you. You know, the whole thing, you know, around International Women's Day, Choose to Challenge. You're a mum, you're a mumpreneur, you're a coach, you're a marketer, mentor, you're doing all of these things. You're married with your two beautiful daughters, but it wasn't always like that for you, was it?
No.
Because you are a survivor of domestic.
Yes, gosh, there's two things. So narcissism in parents, so one parent, and that's something that I'm still overcoming day by day. It's basically, if I was to define it in a nutshell, is unconditional love is not unconditional. And you have to jump through the hoops. And if you don't jump through the hoops, you're persona non grata. And that's hard, because normally you want to feel safe and secure in the knowledge that you are loved by the people who are supposed to love you the most. The other thing was I had an abusive relationship in the past. It wasn't, there was one incident of physical, but it was mainly financial and emotional, which in a way I think is worse, because when it's physical, you know for sure what it is, and it kind of stares you in the face. It's more a case of how you hide it towards others. But when it's emotional and financial, no one sees it.
Absolutely.
And you are not even aware that that's what it is for the longest time. And when you start wondering, you question yourself and you think, oh, is it not? If I say to someone today that the person had my bank card and I wasn't allowed to use my own personal account, they will go like, that should never have happened. But I was, I'm an intelligent woman. I had my business degree, and I would never have imagined that I would have been in that situation. Towards the whole world, that person came across as fantastic. And I don't think deep down he's a bad person. I think he's just a person that did not know how to lead or to be in a healthy relationship. And I probably had empowered some of it, because we only learn through time that we have to put boundaries in place. And that once those boundaries are broken, you have to either enforce them or make a decision to leave. But at the time, I was emotionally less mature, and I didn't have so much experience because he was my first proper boyfriend, then husband. So I didn't know better. And it became kind of easy to become, I don't like to say victim, but caught in that situation. The difficulty as well was we moved geographically to a place where I knew no one. So I had to reconstruct my my personal network. And the interesting thing is that you help someone today, but you never know how that person can help you back. So I have a friend that I met because I became her interpreter. At the time, I was a freelance interpreter for Portuguese. And, I was very professional. I enjoy what I do and everything. But the thing with being an interpreter, you have to remain 100% neutral.
Absolutely.
If someone says, no, you don't have access to any services, even if you know that that's not entirely correct, that's what you have to say to the person. So one day after the whole appointment had done, I stayed behind and I said, you know what? You need to find information here, 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 and here, because what you were told was not necessarily, the full story and something that you just need to sit on and do nothing about. It's not ideal within the spectrum of the ethos of being an interpreter, but as a human being, I could not see someone that was in such need have all the doors closed in their face without having a way to move forward. So we became friends, and I never imagined that further down the line, when I needed to leave my situation and my circumstances, that was the person that had my back. That was the person who would turn up and announce when I didn't know where to go. So I went to university to have financial advice, and they ended up paying for the deposit in the first month of a room, because they found that they thought that I was in such danger. And I didn't have money to eat. I had used all my student loan for things in the home because I hadn't planned on leaving. It was something like, I can't take it anymore kind of situation. And there were times I had absolutely nothing to eat. I had flatmates, and I realized that they weren't eating the top and the end bit of the bread, and that they would toss that away. And that's what, before they tossed it away, that's what I would have. And one day I called the university and said, I think I need some help, because I really don't have any money. So they said, okay, so how much do you have in this account? I said, minus 20. And how much do you have in the other one? Minus such and such. And how are you eating? And I said, about the bread. Okay, come in, we'll give you a check. And the University of Plymouth was absolutely incredible. I never knew that such thing existed, but I don't know how I would have been if they hadn't given me the support that I had. But at the times in between that I had absolutely nothing to eat, that friend would knock on my door and say, do you know, I cooked extra over for the weekend and I just needed to come and give you some. Or, you know, oh, I had some frozen fish in the freezer, and I thought that you would enjoy it because we haven't been using as much. Initially, what we used to do is the two couples, the husbands used to go to Billingsgate. Now we were in Plymouth, so that's a few 5-6 hours journey together, and they would buy, and then we would have all the fish put in my friend's freezer. We had different color bags, so whenever I needed, I would go there and get it. But once the whole situation happened, my ex-husband did not have the guts to go and get anything. So she used to bring it to me. But then what happened is when mine finished, she was bringing hers, because I remember that was not the color of the bags that were mine. So I never knew back then when I was helping her that she would be such a lifeline for me. So it's a life lesson. We don't know that the stranger that we're helping today will be the person that saves us tomorrow. So I'm very passionate about collaboration and helping one another. And I try to do that in the group that I have with Mompreneurs, the network. I believe that we've been competing for so long. You know, we live in a male-dominated society, so the little scraps that we as women would get, we would fight for, and we would be backstabbing one another if necessary, competing like mad. But now it's the time that we, obviously there's still inequalities, but we can come together and use the synergy of coming together to further one another. So that's what I'm passionate about within my network, and you know, what I encourage and why we work together, collaborate. And I'll always know, oh, someone is doing something to do with children and they want to do a course, and someone else is doing that, but they have contact with schools, and I go, why don't you work together? Because you want to get into schools and they want to do a course. So I'm always on the lookout for what's happening in the network, and try and get the collaborations going.
And I have to say, it's a fabulous, fabulous network group. Can I say what it is? It's Mompreneurs,
yes.
Mompreneurs Crown. It's called Mompreneurs Crown Network. You need to check it out because it's very good. Lots of good stuff happening in there. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I would definitely like to check it out, and certainly want to get into a collaboration with Katia, that's for sure.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Definitely. I mean, thank you so much, Katia, for sharing.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm really humbled to be amongst such brilliance and expertise, and yes.
Yeah, that's lovely. That's really nice. Wow, I know it's the time we really need to be doing all this again, because it's like 6 o'clock already. But I just want to go over to Angie. So Angie, doing the work, what you're doing, and you know, losing both your parents, which is really sad, and you're helping all these women. Why isn't the government, or why is it not recognised? Why is it taken? I don't know if you can answer this, but why is it not taken sooner for other people to, you know, get involved in this?
I don't know that I have the answer, but clearly somebody does. Yeah, it just floors me that it's still not widely available, and hence why I'm on this journey. So I am looking for other people that will come and join me on this mission and take it countrywide. So yeah, I can't answer you why it's not there.
How can people get involved?
I think that just if they contact me, we'll have a conversation and obviously see where they're placed with regards to their own business and how they might see it working for them. So I don't know if you have a platform where people can contact.
Well, please leave your details in our comments, and then whoever's interested in that, they can contact you. But I mean, this is just an amazing subject to talk about. I mean, all three of you, it's like we definitely need to do it. I mean, Karen, this is the first time Karen's like quiet, because Karen's always but we definitely need to do this again. I didn't really think about the time. I just thought it'd be nice just to, but yeah, we definitely need to, because we need to have this conversation more. We need to go into, I mean, Katia, Angie, all three of you, just very interesting topics what you're talking about.
Nana, Angie, I want your contacts. I want you to come over to the network.
Absolutely.
And Karen as well, because Karen, I don't think you're there.
Because Karen works with children, and
that is brilliant.
Yeah, so this is brilliant.
Yeah.
Karen, have we got any questions?
We've got comments. So Maggie is saying exactly what you've just said, Leslie. She says, wow, today should have been a 2-hour program, because just the amazingness of our three guests. Jasmine said you've made some really good points, Katia, and she also thinks you're brilliant. And Teresa says that you're amazing and your story's touching and real, and she really feels you. So
Terella, yes.
So we've got we've got a nice audience out there as usual, and just like us, kind of being inspired, I think, and just in awe of. I think for me, do you know what it is? It's when we talk about this bit of challenge, it's that you've all come from a challenge, you've all come from a struggle, you've all come from some heartache to do some amazing good and in the world, and it's just what we need. It really
Absolutely.
is. And particularly when at a time when, don't get me going on the government, but when they give our nurses and healthcare people
1%,
that's just, and they've spent billions on track and trace, it doesn't work. It makes me want to cry. But the work you guys are doing and where you've come from, it's just
absolutely.
And I could talk to all three of you for hours.
Absolutely.
Really could. So yeah.
I'd really like all three of you please to leave your details in our comments, and we've definitely got to reorganize this again. We've definitely got to do this again, because the time, and if I'd really thought about it, we could have just extended it, but I don't know what everybody else's commitments are, and I don't want to keep it anybody longer than the hour. So yeah, so thank you so much, everyone. So let me just ask a final question for all of you. I like this question. Who is your superhero and why?
Oh,
Angie.
no.
Sorry.
Sorry, no. Angie, go.
No, I need time to think about that, because how do you choose one? It's impossible. So I would just flunk it on that one. So over to Katia.
Okay, so I'll say Nelson Mandela, because mindset and the way he overcame his circumstances from being arrested for those number of years and still become as magnificent, as impactful as he was. For me, that is amazing. Maya Angelou, because of how many lives she touched with her words, and still she was humble. Oh gosh, no, I can't. I have goosebumps. Michelle Obama, because of how impactful and graceful she was through the time that Obama was in the presidency. Gosh, I don't know. There's loads, and I don't want to kind of make.
That's fine. You're giving us free there, so that's brilliant. Thank you for that, Nana.
Yeah.
Oh boy, you got me there. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm like thinking, my brain is racking. Oh, you know, I think if I'm honest and I need to dig deep, it's probably my mum. And you know, it takes you time for these things to kind of show itself, you know. And when I reflect sort of her life and the struggles she had and how she still managed to sort of bring her children up, and I probably all along, although maybe I may not admit it to myself, she's always been the one who kind of inspired me. And I think it's her. Yeah, she's my, although she's not here anymore, but I think she's my superhero amongst many others. If I could throw a lot of names like Katia, but I think deep down it is my mom. Yeah.
Nice, thank you. And Angie.
You came back to me.
Oh,
Same. I didn't choose one. Yeah, I like the answer about your mom, because you know, wherever you are, you started with your mom's love, and I think more than anything, they teach you the values that, you know, particularly that Katia was sharing, are what's important is to help each other. I mean, humans are still here because of our community spirit. And if it hadn't been for that, where we were looking after, particularly the elderly, if we weren't looking after each other and have each other's back, you know, where would the human race be? So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies. And ladies, please, I mean, I'm going to be sending you all an email, because you have definitely got to be coming back on here, because we need to be knowing more about what you're doing. And I mean, Nana, I want to know more about Ghana, you know, where your family from. So yeah, we need to be having this conversation again. So respond to my email, okay? And Karen, have you got anything else what you'd like to say before we close?
Personally, for me, just more, please. And I've just got loads of questions to ask all three of you, and I think a connection with all three of you for me is definitely, you know, going to happen. Because Nana, I think I used to be a distributor for the company you're with.
Okay.
I used to drink a lot of it. It's aloe vera, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to drink a lot of it, and I stopped, and I need to start again.
You should. It's my miracle. It's my miracle juice.
Yeah,
honestly.
I used to drink the blue one for my joints. Yeah.
The blue one has transformed my life, literally. But we don't have time. Maybe we can talk outside.
We need another
it really
one.
Has.
Yeah.
So
definitely. I need to catch up with Katia and Angie. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Marcia? Sorry, Karen.
Yeah. I'm just excited, and I can't speak when I'm supposed to speak.
No, I just think it's been very powerful evening this week. I'm kind of blown away really by the amount of, you know, information that we've got, by the stories, you know, the inspiration from all three of you. And I think all of us have learned so much from each of you. And I'm actually looking forward to having you back again, because we really do need to kind of dig a bit deeper and get some more. We need to hear more. So I'm looking forward for that. Yeah.
No, definitely. And ladies, you know, thank you so much. And like I said, and like Marcy and Karen have said, you know, we definitely need to, you know, have a part 2 with our conversation today, because it's been, like Marcy said, so powerful. I mean, I'm just like here, and I've got a list of questions, and we can't go to many of these questions because we've run out of time. Like, wow. So yeah, part 2 needs to happen very soon. And to our audience, thank you so much for joining us this week. It's been brilliant. Wow. And please leave your comments if you want to ask any of the ladies any questions. They're going to be leaving their details in Leslie starts a conversation, they're going to be leaving their details in there. So please just leave your comments in there so they can respond to them. And
Leslie, can I say something very quickly?
Yes, sorry.
I just want to send a shout out to my tribe, because they came to support. So I'm saying thank you to Jasmine, Terrell, and Nala. You know, thank you so much, and I will be seeing you.
Yes, your tribe is here. So Nala is saying very inspiring session, and Nala is saying we need more, please.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Jasmine, you've got your group here. Katie.
Yeah.
We've definitely got to arrange another date very soon. But thank you so much, ladies. Thank you, Real Table Talk. We will be back next week with another, well, not free guest. We've got one guest next week, super guest. Let me give you a clue. Kids are back to school. Yay! Monday morning, the kids are back. So we have got an amazing guest on the platform next week, Sunday at 5 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us. We really, really do appreciate your love, support, your messages. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.